Shalom, shalom, everybody. It is Wednesday, August the 26th, 2020. It's the 7th day of the 6th Hebrew month. This is my second video for the day. So if you haven't seen my first one, it's on my main YouTube channel, which is the very first link right below this video. If you're new to my channel, my name's Daniel Lee. I live here in beautiful Juneau, Alaska. This is not a green screen. This is God's screen. This is his creation. And my mission statement is very clear. I preach and teach the Hebrew Jewish roots of the Christian faith on my website, spiritandtorah.com. I exalt Yahshua, Jesus Christ of Nazareth. He is the only way, truth, and the life. I expose satanic pedophiles to investigative reporting on my YouTube channel. Been doing this now for over 2 years. I provide satanic ritual abuse survivors a platform to speak out on. I protect the innocent children by virtue of these other things, and I lead a nightly Zoom room prayer meeting every single night. We pray for President Trump, this nation, of the subscribers, each other, and we will be happy to pray for you as well. Okay, so the first thing I want to go over here is I got this from a subscriber. She says, I was doing research for a group and I found this. As far as I can tell, at least 2 of these complexes are in different states. What are the odds? So again, I've shown, over the last couple of videos, I've shown the symbols that the FBI released in 2007, the different pedophile symbols, and one of those symbols is a triangle that has, it looks like a spiral inside the triangle. Well, this has shown up, and I'm going to show this right here on the top of these shopping complexes. So there's one, and then here's another one right at the top of these, shopping complexes. And here's another one. So very, very interesting. I've never seen it before on top of shopping complexes like this. And she said these are various ones throughout different states. So I just think that's very, very interesting. I mean, this stuff is, again, and I've said this before, when we talk about Trump draining the swamp, it's not just DC, it's all over the place. And it's quite a job to come against. Now, in my first video today, if you haven't seen it, please go and see it. But I talked about this really disgusting book. I'll show just a picture of it real quickly. It's The Secret Pizza Party. And it's being sold in Walmart, also being sold on Amazon. And if you read the reviews of verified purchasers, the parents are absolutely disgusted. It talks about children needing to keep secrets and keep things hidden away from their parents. Then it shows there's actually an image of a raccoon with a pizza slice on its crotch. I mean, really, really disgusting stuff. And you can go see more information about that. But a subscriber pointed out to me, I just happened to see this comment below the video. This is an article from way back in 2016. Mayor deBlasio, the New York City mayor, reads Secret Pizza Party to Queen's kids, and the plot mirrors the fundraising probe he's caught up in. So the exact same book that I exposed today, this guy was reading to little children way back in 2016. Listen to this. This is what the article says. When you make something secret, you make it special. That was the bizarre lesson Mayor deBlasio, whose questionable fundraising tactics are at the center of an ongoing criminal probe, delivered Saturday to a group of children at a Queens library. His and her read from the illustrated children's book Secret Pizza Party at the Woodside branch of the Queens Library alongside library boss Dennis Walcott and City Councilman Jimmy Van Bramer. The poorly chosen yarn follows the exploits of a wily raincoat-clad raccoon who is overly enthusiastic about keeping secrets and stealing pizza. When you make something secret, you make it special, the immoral masked mammal says. Regular handshake, boring. Secret handshake, booyah. So this disgusting book with a lot of Pizzagate-related type of imagery. And I mean, I talked about how one of the authors, there's 2 authors, one of the authors said that he had just been working on an X-rated piece of work. And he's, single, male, childless, and yet here he's writing this children's book. And now we have the mayor reading this very book. I'll post a link to this story. Again, this is from way back in 2016. Unbelievable. Unbelievable how there are so many connections in this satanic pedophile network. Now, here's something really interesting. This was tweeted out earlier today by Milo. This was from a lady named Diana DeGette. Representative Diana DeGette, she said the Trump administration refuses to lift its baseless restrictions on human fetal tissue research, which is preventing our nation's scientists from advancing studies to find treatments and cures for coronavirus. We're calling on HHS Secretary Azar to immediately lift these restrictions. And then there's a meme underneath that says, just like that, you learn that abortionists do sell bodies and vaccine manufacturers do use fetal tissue. Yeah, so they're all upset that President Trump has put down all these restrictions that's preventing that from happening now. Very, very, very interesting and very, very telling. And I'm going to actually post a link to this below my video, both her statement and then also the, I don't know if you guys have seen this before, I've reported on this before, but the aborted fetal tissue in vaccines actually shows the proof of how much fetal tissue is used in vaccines. I'm, of course, completely anti-vaccine. I think it's bad science. But in any case, I will post this information below the video. Now, this is an article that was published August 24th, 2 days ago. A woman is arrested for child sex trafficking after trying to sell a teen for sex in Phoenix, Arizona. Phoenix police say a woman was arrested after she tried arranging sex between a 16-year-old girl and an undercover detective. According to court documents, it happened near the 27th Avenue and Camelback Road Saturday night. Around 8 p.m., documents allege 22-year-old Precious Drake went up to a man and offered to have sex with him for $100. That's when she called over her so-called friend, who was only 16 years old, and offered her to the man for another $100. Drake didn't know she was propositioning an undercover detective. Cops took both Drake and the teen into custody for questioning. They told police they had traveled from Mississippi to Texas, then to Arizona with the victim's boyfriend. Drake is now charged with child sex trafficking. Now, this is the interesting part about the article. It says, we only think about trafficking when we see the movie Taken or things like that, so it doesn't enter into our mind. The reality is trafficking happens in grade schools. It happens in elementary and high schools. Courtney Bollinger of Streetlight USA, an organization that works with girls victimized or at risk of sex trafficking, says the statistics are alarming. According to the National Human Trafficking Hotline, last year there were 234 trafficking cases reported in Arizona alone. And I guarantee you it's probably a lot higher than that. Those are only the cases that are reported. I have a feeling that in Arizona and in many other states across the nation, it's much higher than that. Remember, there's, according to Bill Barr's report, there are over 800,000 children that are abducted in the United States alone that are used in child sex trafficking. A lot of it comes from foster care, according to Barr's report. But this is just another example of you know, how this is just, it's a systemic problem and it's happening everywhere. And I think also people sort of misunderstood what I said last week when I said that Trump said that 96% trafficking is down at the border. That's true because of the wall. But remember, the border, the southern border, is just one place, one area where there's been human trafficking. Human trafficking has been happening all over. I mean, if you just want to talk about the United States, happening all over within our own borders for decades. So it's great that the wall's up and it's great that trafficking's down there, but there's still a huge, huge fight ahead of us. Now, I've talked about this subject before, but this was another article published by Natural News on August 26th today. It says, online classes, COVID makes medically kidnapping children easier, direct access to your home. The brave new world of COVID has certainly changed everyone's lives for the worse. Not too long ago, homeschooling one's child meant keeping the child in the safest place possible, far away from those who would intend to do harm, such as require them to get dangerous vaccines or reporting them to Child Protective Services, where often social workers would come to schools and remove the child without the parents even knowing about it. Homeschooling used to prevent that, but not anymore. At least not if you are participating in government education. Last week, for example, it was reported in several media outlets that parents in Tennessee were reporting that they were being forced to sign a waiver stating they will not eavesdrop on their children's online lessons. What? Homes are still the safest place for children, but now we need to add a new disclaimer. Only if you keep the government out of your home through the internet. Otherwise, if you do not comply with their dictates, you may soon have a SWAT team breaking down your door in the middle of the night and forcibly taking your children from your home, which has already been happening in the United States, as this story we covered last year in Arizona exemplifies. I remember talking about this story last year in 2019. The headline was, "Police break down door of Arizona family at 1 a.m. to medically kidnap 3 children because parents refused to take child to the emergency room with a fever." Allie Parker reports that parents are now being accused of abusing their children simply if they do not log into their class online. And by the way, that story I reported on in Arizona last year, thankfully, they got their children back, and the whole case has been dismissed against them. Thankfully, and through a lot of prayers, they got a judge that actually rebuked Child Protective Services and had some common sense in that issue. So that's good. But nevertheless, there's still now this warning. It says children's hospitals and schools are the last places loving and caring parents should be worried about when it comes to the health and safety of their children. Unfortunately, more and more parents are finding out that when they seek medical care for their child out of concern or try their best to follow the requirements of schools amidst the coronavirus, they will be accused of child abuse and or neglect. Okay, so this article goes on, citing all these different examples, and I'll let you guys read that. So what's the solution to this? The solution is homeschool your children if you can, and when you homeschool, don't homeschool in conjunction with these public schools or with the government education. You're going to get bad education anyway. Instead, find good Christian-based homeschooling curriculum. There's a lot out there that you can find on the internet to teach your children. Now, this next story is just, I have to laugh about this. This was published yesterday. Al Gore, good old Al Gore, says if Trump refuses to concede, the military will take him out of the White House. They're really coming out of the woodwork, aren't they? This is from the Gateway Pundit. Al Gore says if President Trump refuses to accept a loss in the presidential election, the U.S. military will take him out of the White House. The former vice president, who lost to George W. Bush in 2000, sat down for an online interview with Reuters editor-in-chief Stephen Adler. What if Trump declares the results illegitimate? Adler asked him. I don't know, Gore said, but it's important to say that it's really not up to him. I hear people saying, well, would he accept that decision? See, again, this is just like what I reported in my first video about what Hillary Clinton is saying, that Joe Biden absolutely should not concede because she's expecting there to be a lot of confusion and mayhem with mail-in voting. They're just projecting their own motives, their own fears onto President Trump. Because I guarantee you what's going to happen is Trump's going to be the one who wins, and they're going to be the ones that doesn't concede. And who is Al Gore? I mean, Al Gore, this has-been nobody coming out of the woodwork, a failed presidential candidate way back in the year 2000. Give me a break. Give me a break. Now, this next headline, I'm sorry. I know I shouldn't laugh about this, but it's just funny. I'm going to let you see this actual headline here. DNC caucus meeting featured transgender, non-binary, gender transcendent mermaid queen king who wants a world without cops. That is the Democrat Party, folks. Oh my goodness. I'm not even going to read that story. I just thought it was funny. Very, very funny. Oh, such confusion in the Democrat Party. If you like what I'm doing, if you appreciate what I'm doing, if you think I'm working hard and I deserve to be paid, this is my full-time career, which I love. I love doing what I do. So if you want to help me out, the easiest way to do so is through my PayPal. That is a link right below the video. That's the easiest way to send me a donation. I also have a Patreon. That's a link below the video as well. The way that works is you click on it. You can pledge any monthly amount you'd like, and then that amount is taken out of your bank account at the beginning of each month. If you're old school and you don't want to use the internet to send a donation, that's fine. I also have a P.O. box that's also located below the video, and you can send me a donation through good old-fashioned snail mail. If you have a prayer request and you want our prayer team to pray for you, we'll be happy to do so. Just make sure you email me. My email is in the description box below the video. You have to kind of unscroll or unfold the description box, scroll down through the links. You'll eventually find an email address that you can email me your prayer request. I'll get it to our prayer team, and we will pray for you. Hallelujah. Beautiful, beautiful, drippy rainforest today. It's not raining now, so I was able to film outside. Beautiful, beautiful day. All creation testifies to the glory of Yah. And I just love all these shades of green. All right. Yah bless you guys. Have a wonderful rest of your Wednesday. Shalom. Shalom.